Hello, welcome to Undisputed Boxing. We're back to talk Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder 3 has been set for the 9th of October. I can't believe we're going to be talking about this again, but it feels like it's overrun topic, but we do have another day. I think there's a few things that we can discuss. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think. I'm here with Rick. How are we doing?
Not bad. Very hot today. Very humid.
I know. It's weather's great. I've got I did some jiu-jitsu today, and I've got like you can see the bruise in the center of my head.
Oh, right, yeah.
Got a whack right in the middle of the head. Sparring. Yeah. Right. So, 9th of October. What do we reckon? Is it actually going to happen this time?
I mean, you have to go a lot. You have to hope that it does, and you'd like to think it does. I mean, to be fair, this is like I said, cancelled once, but if you think about it, it got cancelled a few times last year as well, didn't it?
Mm.
But I think this time they're in trouble because I just think there'll be problems with the belts. I mean, for me, I suppose this video is a bit about do we see it any different? We did a video a few months ago when we knew it was July. We were buzzing for the fight this week. I'm still coming to you, but for the Takam Joyce fight, but we were gonna get up and watch that and talk a lot about that. But we did do a video a few weeks ago. We said, how do we see the fight, considering it's been quite a long time after?
Yeah.
And we gave our views, and I think it's worth having a go going right now. It's another 3 or 4 months. How do we see it? And my view is, I had going into that fight a clear 80-20 for Fury.
Yeah.
It's going to be a rematch in the June, the February. I was going to go 8 or around that, 75-25. I think I said last time I've shifted 5%, only 5, but because Fury's been inactive, probably put on a bit of weight. Wilder's had mental time to get over it and work on stuff. And now this other delay, I'm going like another 5. So it's starting to shrink back a little bit for me. And I could argue it's leaning towards 70-30, 65 35. Because I start to fear a bit about the shape Fury's going to be in and just his sharpness.
Yeah. I know.
And we know he's got the power to hurt him because he's done it twice before. He's not knocked him out, but he's hurt him. There's nothing you can do about that. That was a danger in the first fight, the second fight as well. But he relies so much on his sharpness, both defensively and offensively, and starting to, going to put him in a bit of trouble, and it's getting closer. Makes it a bit more intriguing, but I'd rather start the fight earlier.
Yeah.
How do you see it? Is it even? I mean, I don't think you were leaning as much as I was. I think you still saw it quite wide, but is this pulling you closer?
I don't think it is. I think Tyson Fury has already shown he's able to beat Deontay Wilder 2 different ways, 2 different tactics, 2 different trainers. I just, even Tyson Fury at like 50%, I think is enough to beat Deontay Wilder, especially now he has that kind of mental edge over him, the fact that he has beaten him twice. I just don't think there's anything that Deontay Wilder can do. That I've just never subscribed to Deontay Wilder, even when he became champion. I just think it's difficult not to, like him, the fact that he got into boxing and, to, get more money for his family and his daughter who's not particularly, but, I just feel he's surrounded by yes men. Technically he's not great. He's just got that right hand that could just put people to sleep. And that was fine for a while, but I don't know. I just think Tyson Fury, even overweight, 50%, which is kind of what he was for the first fight. I still think he can deal with Deontay Wilder. I don't see it going any other way. And I think this delay is not ideal, but yeah, I think it gives Tyson Fury a little bit longer to get back in shape. The inactivity is not good for Deontay Wilder either.
No, it's not. towards, a bit more towards it. Because I did also say, I think that Wilder will have known some of the things that went wrong, whether he, how he ran out of steam too quickly, maybe he bulked up too much, whether it was the suit and all that crap, I don't know. But I don't think he'll gas as quickly. So I just think he'll be a bit more ready. But I keep going back to that. I think he was even the first round, might be the second round, where Wilder threw a right hand and it grazed. Well, it landed, but it didn't land flush. Fury, took it and said, he felt it. He's a split second out with that. That's landing on the temple, and it makes me wonder. And I know that he beat him up, well and convincingly, but sometimes it is just about those margins, especially early on. And if he's just I don't think a 50% Fury does beat Wilder, if I'm honest. I think that with a lot of things, because 50% is quite a lot to lose. And I'm not saying he's going to be 50%, but he's going to be just that bit off. And yeah, you might say Wilder well, but don't know. And I'm not saying for 1 minute I'm fancying Wilder. I'm probably making the argument why I've gone from 80-20 to then 75-25 to now 70-30. It's still quite in Fury's favour. I'm just close up a bit. Yeah,
I don't know. I just think there isn't really anything that he can do in terms of his boxing skill. I mean, we've seen Deontay Wilder be outboxed by, Gerald Washington, Arthur Spilker. He was losing those fights until he closed the show, which is, one of those things that makes him exciting to watch and exciting for the division. And I do hope that we see more of him. But, once Tyson Fury, deals with him again convincingly. But yeah, I mean, I think I've said this on previous videos. I mean, Tyson Fury will start to slide now, I think. He's 33 this year. If he's not 33 already, I know that he's turning 33 this year. And boxers that don't tend to look after themselves, they tend to kind of wane earlier in their career, like 32, 33. I think Ricky Hatton was famous for not really taking care of himself in between fights. His last, I think when he got knocked out by Pacquiao was 31. And you could probably argue that he was probably starting to slide at that time anyway. I know he had some poor decisions with selecting Floyd Mayweather Sr. as his trainer and whatnot. But yeah, I digress. I do think that he probably will be, 34 next year. I mean, it's going to be next year before Tyson Fury is in a more meaningful fight, either against an AJ or maybe Dillian White. And I think at 34, not a great activity, 2 fights in 2 years.
The other well is obviously this isn't a reason to why I've moved 5%, but why I'm 80 in the first place and not 100 or 95 or 90 is, as well as I do think Wilder will improve certain things, and I think I said that it's more likely it might. I'm pretty sure it'll go longer, and it might even go to points again, but. There's also that potential complacency with Fury.
Yeah.
And when Fury does not smell danger, we've seen him put some bad in. And I don't think he'll can that much, but it is a bit of a danger if he really believes he's beaten the soul out of him and Wilder's is almost finished. And there's also another thing, which is Fury's not been in this situation before, having a rematch like this where he's almost expected to just go and beat him up, and it makes you want he'll force it. And again, I'm just looking for little reasons here as to why I'm, not all in on Fury. Just these little factors that could play up. I mean, you don't often do it like I do. I always got to give percentages, but where are you in terms of, are you like 90? You can't give Wilder no chance because it's heavyweight boxing. But where are you? You like 90-10 or 95-5?
I would say 90-10, in favour of Fury. Yeah, complacency is something that could creep into Fury's game. I mean, look, he took, Otto Wallin pretty lightly, and he ended up having went life or death with Otto Wallin. I mean, who would have seen that? But he got through it, and I just think even if he does have to get dig deep, he will be able to do it, and he could beat Deontay Wilder any way he wants. You know, and I think this will be potentially the end of him.
Older.
Sorry?
You know, digging deeper can become get older.
Yeah. It can. I just don't see like this, all of this pad work nonsense with Malik Scott. I think it's absolute garbage. You know, you're getting somebody to train you who sparks out in a round, doesn't really have any training experience. I can't see him coming up with the grand master plan to overthrow Fury. I just can't see it.
I don't think it will. I don't think he'll change his game huge. I just think he's been in the ring with that kind of Fury now. And I don't care who you are, but if you boxed 8 rounds, 9 rounds with a guy like that, you are just mentally more ready. Do you know what I mean? And that way, sometimes just being mentally ready means you survive longer. But I'm not saying that's the reason why he will win. I mean, that's more of a reason for me why it will go a bit longer. So just for our viewers, I'm not, picking wild. I just think the odds have shortened a bit for me. Only slightly with the first delay and slightly again with this delay. Yeah. And it will keep, actually, there'll come a point where I'll probably it keeps getting delayed. I'll go to 60-40 and probably hold.
I'll tell you what, if it gets delayed anymore, we're not going to talk about it. I'm going to be banning it from the channel. What happened to all the undercard fights? Are they all been delayed as well? Presume so.
Just one thing. I did watch. I don't know if you saw it. I did direct you to it, but old Bricktop was having an interview, and he didn't make a big thing on it. I was a bit gutted he didn't make more of a thing, but he did talk about Eddie Hearn's kind of accusation that one of the reasons could be they weren't selling tickets well. And I know you've had a few back and forth with people on this, but what I found interesting is his claim was, well, we've sold £14 million worth of tickets, $1 million worth of ticket, $40 million worth of tickets. Just to say it's not, so to say it's struggling, that's a bit of a thing. But I actually don't. That sounds a lot of money in grey, but I don't know what the total should be. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I looked at when the accusations were being thrown about. I looked at the Ticketmaster. I don't think it was Ticketmaster, but it was whatever ticketing outlet it was, and the stadium was just over half full. Like most of the floor seats have been taken, but the outside kind of the auditorium, a lot of those were still available. I'd say at the very least a third of the seats were still available. And that's 2 weeks out.
Yeah, but what it might be though is, and again, this is why, what I need to look back and find out what last time because they were bragging about how much money they took on the, from the gate. So I need to go back and find that. I got a 17 million in my head. So it may be that even though 2/3 are sold in terms of volume, in terms of value, it might be more like 85%.
Yeah, I looked at the prices of some of the tickets and they were lumpy, really expensive.
If you sold all the floor seats, one floor seat might be worth a very small percent. Sorry, as a number is a very small number, but as a pound sign, it adds a bit more. So, like I said, they might have only sold like 70% of tickets, but 90% of revenue may be bagged.
Yeah, it's a good way of kind of I don't know, not showing your cards and how many seats you sold. If you just give an actual number of the value of the tickets, then it's like it's a counter, isn't it?
If they have got 90% value, it's done well, because it's not really about volume, it is about the value.
Yeah. But I think ultimately, I don't know if I believe the conspiracy, but I do think it's really shoddy for Fury not to be in a more secure camp where they are testing and social distancing. I think it's just really sloppy work on their part, and they've got to take full blame for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the other reasons might be, it's getting very stacky with pay-per-view. They bottle pay-per-view. Maybe I don't know if it started. I mean, we've gone through this anyway. It's weird how in the UK there was no one actually signed up for the fight. It wasn't being advertised anywhere. Should be at BT, but BT had not confirmed. A few weeks out. It was when it got 2 weeks out. We still didn't know who was showing it.
Yeah.
UK.
There's a lot of anomalies as well. I mean, the press conference wasn't great. Didn't exactly catch fire, did it? Deontay Wilder was just a mute for the whole time. Didn't answer any questions. That's your chance to start speaking out. And fight your corner, and he just didn't. And that you got to say that's a a missed opportunity to really sell the fight.
Do you know what came into my head? I don't know, probably making more of this than it is, but I wonder if there was some kind of other legal dispute going on where UK TV, because haven't BT got first refusal?
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
I don't know what it means, but I wonder if there was something like BT like bid 10 million for it and said, "Oh, we'll pay you 10 million," but because Sky have got probably a lot of money now, and maybe 10's too lumpy, I don't know, but like say 10 million just for example, Sky might have come in and said 15, and then if they're struggling for general funds in America, they might be like, well, really, we really want the Sky one, we want that extra 5 million, but BT like, we can't. I wonder if that was going on.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting point, because now that Top Rank are signed to Sky, I don't know, it's an interesting dynamic, that, isn't it? I mean, there's a very good chance, I think, that this third fight will end up on Sky, if I'm honest.
They've got quite money now. Now they aren't shelling a lot of money to, and it seems to be a bit more their strategy anyway, Sky, that it's like maybe fewer fights but bigger pay-per-view jobs.
Yeah.
Like Brimco. Anyway, we'll see.
All right, let's wrap it up. So we'll do prediction videos in the week for Joe Joyce and Carlos Takam, and then we're going to do a quick video after.
We're going to do it on the Saturday night, and we should be together. So
yes.
For the next video, you get Saturday night just before the fight. We'll do it and get it out, and we should be together. Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be good. Should be a good one. All right, thanks everybody for listening.